Welcome to this month's summer meal prep video and welcome back to my sunshine kitchen. Today I'm prepping for the week all my breakfasts, lots of high protein snacks, some lunches and some dinners. All of today's food of course is plant-based vegan, it's high protein, it's nutritious and it's seriously yummy. Today I'm making my breakfast for the week. I'm making a new high protein really tasty dip, a snack of high protein courgette balls, tofu veggie kebab skewers, they're so yummy, and tofu fried rice, which is just so flavoursome and so delicious. Most of this meal prep I will fridge for the week and some I'll freeze for the next few weeks. Today's meal prep video is summer dishes we have been eating a lot. I do love to cook and I love to eat yummy food, but I don't always have time 3 meals a day to prepare food. So I like to make extra portions while I'm cooking. It takes, 5-10 minutes to make a few more portions, and then you can fridge it or freeze it, and then you've got so many more meals. I'm a big fan of meal prepping because I love to eat healthy, nutritious, yummy food all the time, not grab the nuts from the cupboard that perhaps are a bit more high in fat that I want to eat, or the chocolate brownies that are so delicious and they're there ready to eat, but I prefer to save those chocolate brownies for after dinner as a sweet treat. This summer I've shared with you lots of my favourite summer recipes in my what I eat in a day videos and in my meal prep videos. I would love to know what your favourite summer dishes are. Where you live in the world, what is your favourite food in summertime? If you enjoyed today's video or any of today's recipes you plan to make them, please hit that thumbs up. Thumbs up and comments help my channel so much and they really make me smile. To start today's meal prep video, I am making my breakfast for the week. In summer, I love soaked oats, overnight oats. I just find they are refreshing, they fill me to lunch, they're nutritious, and they're really delicious. You can also vary them in so many ways. I don't know about you, but on a weekday, I like speedy breakfasts. I don't eat for a few hours. I normally do a workout, clean the house. 3-4 hours later, I want to get on with work, but also I'm hungry, so I like to eat at my desk. The breakfast I'm making today actually would be incredibly handy if you have teenagers or perhaps partners that don't cook. These would be very handy also to take into work. If I was still a teacher, I would have so many of these in my classroom, ready to grab, add some plant milk to, and I'd be eating nutritious food. I love my oats ready like this, then there are no excuses to eat something less healthy. I'm making 2 types of soaked overnight oats for this week's breakfasts. One where I love to add a little fresh fruit to on a morning. It could be frozen blueberries or strawberries. I love fresh mango if it's in season, or nectarines, apricots, peaches. Any fresh fruit or frozen fruit is fabulous. Or if you're pressed for time, or perhaps you want it as a snack in your office or for your children or your partner, you could add some dried fruit to the mix instead. And the other type is my chocolate oats. These are so yummy, and if I'm feeling like I want a little pick-me-up, a little hit of endorphins to get to my work desk in the morning, my chocolate oats always do the trick. Today I'm making 3 pots of fruit oats. They are simply half a cup of oats per jar. Oats are amazing for us. 2 tablespoons of chia seeds for protein and for omegas. 2 tablespoons of desiccated coconut for sweetness and healthy fats. 2 tablespoons of goji berries. There's a lot of nutrition and flavour in these little berries. 1 tablespoon of flavoured organic pea protein. I use strawberry. Then I add an instruction to the front. Add 1 cup of plant milk and approximately half a cup of fruit. And that's an amazing, really yummy, high protein, nutritious breakfast I can eat on the go straight from the pot, or I can eat in a pretty bowl at my work desk. Then for my chocolate oats. Now these are indulgent and really satisfying. I think they taste just like chocolate Cocoa Pops. If you make them and you think they taste like chocolate Cocoa Pops, you'll have to come back and let me know. For my chocolate oats, I'm making 2 portions. 1/3 of a cup of oats. I try and eat oats every day, they're just so good. 2 tablespoons of raw cacao, which is an amazing mood enhancer and it's super nutritious. 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. 2 tablespoons of desiccated coconut. 1 tablespoon of pea protein. If you have vanilla flavour or chocolate, that would be amazing in this. 1 to 2 teaspoons of raw cacao nibs for crunch, flavour and nutrition. Some coconut flakes, just for a different texture. 1 to 2 teaspoons of hemp seeds, which are rich in good fats, omega-3 and 6, and they have a nice crunch too. Then in a separate jar, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of maple syrup and 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. Add to the comments why I add them in this order. Then on a morning, I can easily pour the wet onto the dry mix it in and add a cup of plant milk. And that's my chocolate oats all yummy. To the chocolate oats, you can add some fruit on the day too. If you're an overnight oats lover and you have a recipe that you love to make, do share it in the comments below. Let me know what your favorite soaked oats recipe is. Next, I'm making a high protein dip. I always have a high protein dip in the fridge and plenty in the freezer too. Whether it's made of lentils, chickpeas, or beans, they're just so handy for snacks. Add to wraps, Buddha bowls. We love a Greek meze. We often have this in summer especially. You can eat it with pita bread or vegetable crudité. You can put it into lunch boxes. A high protein bean or chickpea dip is just so handy. Also, they always freeze amazingly and they tend to last 7 days in the fridge because they're made of lemon and garlic. This dip we're making today is a Greek dip. It's called fava, but it's not made of fava beans, it's made of yellow split peas, which are really high in protein and really cheap. 100 grams of yellow split peas is 25 grams of protein, so this is a fabulous dip to have on hand. This dip is super easy and simple to make. I'm making 8 to 10 portions in less than an hour. Of course, I'm batch making this recipe for the fridge and the freezer. Last night, I soaked 500 grams of dried split peas. I do this to clean them of dirt. It also reduces the cooking time and it massively reduces gas and bloating, which is particularly helpful if you have IBS. When you see the bubbles, that's the gas that's not going into your tummy, potentially making you uncomfortable and giving you a crazy bloat. I add my yellow split peas to a soup pan and then add water to about an inch higher. You don't want to add too much water. Also add some of your favorite herbs. I love to add fresh rosemary from my garden. I love the flavor of rosemary in this particular dip. Add some pink salt and a couple of bay leaves. And then I simmer my yellow split peas on medium heat. While that's cooking, I'll dice 1 onion and mince 4 cloves of garlic. I fry these in olive oil. First the onions for about 5 minutes until they're translucent, and then I'll stir in the minced garlic. For just a minute, you don't want anything to burn. After about 30 minutes of the yellow split peas cooking, they're becoming mushy. I pick out the bay leaves and I pick out some of the rosemary and I turn it down to a low heat to gently simmer. I add the fried garlic and onion mix for 10 minutes to cook together until the consistency is good. You don't want it too watery. The dip will thicken as it cools. I love to use my immersion blender to blend this dip until it's gorgeous and smooth. I stir in the juice of 3 fresh lemons. Oh, this gives it a fabulous flavour. These lemons are from the market, not from my tree, so it is a lot of lemon juice. Then I'll tub it for the fridge and the freezer, and I'll serve some now because I'm certain my husband will be hungry. You can use this dip in wraps and in salads and in poke bowls, but when you serve it in a meze, you want to add these toppings. Add oregano, pink salt, some black pepper, raw diced onion, capers, olive oil, and this is a real delicacy. It's like a Greek version of loaded nachos. If you're enjoying today's video, please give me some love, hit that thumbs up, write me a comment, let me know which recipe you've loved the most or what you're going to try, and make sure you subscribe with your notifications turned on. The next recipe we're making today are courgette balls, zucchini balls. This is another Greek recipe, but I veganized it. They are high protein, they are light, they're refreshing, they're really flavoursome, they're a fabulous snack, they're fantastic in lunchboxes, or we serve them as part of a meze. They're particularly good with a vegan tzatziki. I love to make seasonal recipes. We have so many courgettes and they're really cheap here at the moment. So courgette balls are perfect at this time of year. Today I'm making a batch of courgette balls for the fridge and the freezer. I've got 1 kilogram of courgette spare, which will make about 28-30 courgette balls. To make these zucchini balls, first we need to grate the courgette. I'm using my speedy little nifty grating machine that just makes it so fast. I'm grating 1 kilogram of courgette, 1 small onion, and I'm finely dicing a few spring onions. Then we need to soak the water out the zucchini, so I'm adding the grated courgettes to a colander for about half an hour and adding salt to the courgettes so they cry. These fresh zucchinis have so much moisture, but to make the courgette balls, we really need that moisture out. So we must remove it by wringing it out, by pressing it out, squeezing it out. Do your best. Too much moisture, you will not get crispy courgette balls. That's all the veg prepared. Now I need to make a cashew cheese that tastes quite like a feta cheese. I'm using 150 grams of raw cashews I've had soaking overnight. I've drained them and now I'm going to blend them really well with a few different ingredients. To get this mixed really smooth, it will take a few minutes of blending. I'm adding the juice of 1 lemon, 2 teaspoons of white vinegar, 2 teaspoons of juice from the capers jar, 5 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, some pink salt, and blending well for a few minutes. The flavour is not a perfect alikeness to feta cheese, but in these courgette fritters, it works fantastically and it's really lovely and sticky to bind the mix together. Now half an hour's passed, I need to get the rest of the water out of that zucchini. So I'll add it to a tea towel, I will wring it out, and then I will squeeze it out. And I'll do this for a few minutes until there's not much more moisture coming out. In a big mixing bowl, I've got my cashew cheese, I'm adding my zucchini and onion mixture. Then for the flavours, I'm adding fresh mint from my garden, 2 tablespoons finely diced, 2 tablespoons of fresh coriander. If you're a parsley lover, use parsley. Mix it together really well. You see how sticky this mix is getting? Now it's time to add the flour and then we can ball it. I tend to love gluten-free flours. Oat flour works perfectly in these courgette balls and so does chickpea flour, and neither alters the flavour. So for that extra boost of protein, I'll use 7 tablespoons of chickpea flour. Add it gradually and mix it in, and add some salt and pepper. Time to get boiling. I like to make golf-sized balls. And this will make around 28-30 balls. I'm going to let these zucchini balls set for an hour in the fridge and then I will tub them for the fridge and the freezer. When I tub them, I put a little greaseproof paper in between and they come out perfectly. To air fry, I like to cook these on 180 degrees centigrade, no higher. They don't need any oil to cook. If I don't need to use oil, I don't use oil. These become amazingly crispy with no oil and they're fluffy and light inside. Then turn each ball and cook for another 8 minutes. And then they are perfect. The next recipe I'm batch making today are tofu veggie kebab skewers. They are so full of flavour and they're a fabulous summer dish. I cook them under my health grill. You could cook them in the grill in your oven or of course on a barbecue. They are so delicious, nutritious and of course full of protein. I love to serve these tofu kebab skewers with some quinoa or some rice, and then that makes a delicious and light summer dinner. I'm using a firm long life tofu and cubing it. Pressing it quickly today because I find firm tofu doesn't take much pressing, with kitchen towel and tea towels. For more detailed instructions on how I love to press tofu, I'll link a video above. I'm marinating the tofu in lemon juice, Thai curry paste, You can get green, yellow or red Thai curry pastes and some garlic and ginger paste and a little soya sauce to add a little saltiness. And this is a really flavoursome marinade. I've chopped into chunks onion, courgette, mushrooms, bell peppers and baby tomatoes. These are my favourite ingredients on a kebab skewer. What are yours? If I make a huge batch of these up, these are lunches or dinners for days. They're just ready to grab and grill. I like to spray them with a touch of olive oil, a little paprika, a little garlic powder, a little oregano, and a little chili too if you fancy. These will be good for 3 days in the fridge and they're ready just to barbecue or grill or put on another health grill. If you haven't already, please hit that like button and let me know in the comments if you're planning to make any of my recipes. And the final dish I'm back to making today is tofu fried veggie rice. This dish I make all the time for dinner because it's just so quick and effortless. This tofu fried rice is lovely hot or cold and it'll last about 3 days in the fridge. It's really, really yummy and it's packed with so much goodness and it's just so easy to make. I love that this rice dish is made of pantry and freezer staples. It uses very little oil and is so flavoursome. I'm weighing 400 grams of my favourite frozen veggies. Today has been a long day of meal prep, so for speed, I'm using Easy Cook parboiled rice. I prefer to use whole grain rice, but for speed, I will often use Easy Cook. To my rice cooker, I'm adding 3 cups of parboiled rice, my frozen veggies, and 6 cups of water, and this will cook perfectly. I love my rice cooker. In about 20 minutes, this rice will be delicious and it's effortless. The tofu is super easy. I'm using 400 grams of firm, long life tofu. This will press in 5–10 minutes. I love to cut my tofu into different shapes for different dishes. This gives far more variety to our meals. And my speedy marinade is Maggi. To me, this is way yummier than soya sauce. It makes the tofu taste very Moorish. Give it a try. The rice and veg are perfectly cooked thanks to the rice cooker. This tofu cooks in the air fryer cut in this shape for 7 minutes on 200 degrees centigrade. I've overloaded the basket with 400 grams today, so after 7 minutes I'll give the basket a wee shake and cook for another 2 more minutes. Now to make this dish really scrumptious. In olive oil, I quick fry to keep the veg crisp a few yummy veggies. On medium-high heat, I add 1 large sliced onion, give that a stir and a couple of minutes to cook on its own before adding 1½ bulbs of sliced garlic. A quick stir, then adding 200 grams of crunchy purple and white roughly cut cabbage. Once that's stirred in, I add the yummiest flavour. Tom yum paste is made as a soup paste, but it flavours rice dishes beautifully. I add 5 to 6 tablespoons of this Thai paste, mix in a tiny bit of oil just so it coats all the veggies a little easier. I use Thai paste a lot in my cooking. They're really clean, packed with natural ingredients. At this stage, I add 250 grams of sliced mushrooms. This keeps their body. Then I add the tofu, mix that in, and then finally the rice, and cook together for 3–4 minutes until the whole dish is fully heated through and delicious. And that's 8 to 10 portions of delicious rainbow veg tofu fried rice for the fridge and the freezer. And that's my week off to a very healthy and yummy start. I will freeze some of this and I'll fridge some of this. If you've enjoyed today's recipes, make sure you've hit the thumbs up and you're subscribed with your notifications turned on. Every week I bring out new recipe videos that are plant-based vegan, they're nutritious, they're yummy, and they're high in protein. Until next week, check out some of my old meal prep videos or what I eat in a day videos. Until next time, have a delicious, healthy, tasty week. Bye!